Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Good deal, bad deal, and how to bargain with people on Marketplace. Yeah, it's too bad pawn shops don't like bargaining too well. Anyways, let's take a look at what we got. First couple things I want to mention is when it comes to Intel Macs, if it has the word MacBook Air, run. Stay away from them. They're all pieces of garbage, okay? If it's an Intel MacBook Air. If it's an M1 or an M2, okay, we got something there. As far as regular Intel Macs, though, of course, nothing below a 2018 if you want some survival time for your money. And you're going to have to really bargain, too, because Intel Macs aren't worth as much as people would like to get out of them. They're just not worth the money anymore. And even M1s, M2s, they're not holding value either. They're not even close to holding the same type of value that Intel Macs used to, which they no longer hold any real value, to be honest. Anyways, let's take a look. So, this is a 2019 16-inch. This is a MacBook Pro, of course. 2.3 gigahertz, 8-core Intel i9. Retina display, 1 terabyte SSD, 16 gigs of WISI RAM, but 16 is better than 8. And these things always came with 16 gigs anyways as base. But this would go to 64, but it's not upgradable, nor is the drive. It's all soldered on stuff, so keep that in mind. Now, the one thing he did fail to list in this ad was if it has the 4 or 8 gig Radeon dedicated graphics card in it. We don't know. I have not checked with him yet. And I'm kind of still on the borderline on this because all I have right now is trading power. I have no cash. So I'm kind of like, and I don't even know if he'll do a trade. The last couple of deals I tried, nope, not interested in trading. Nope, don't need that. Okay, whatever, I tried. But as far as price goes, I'm going to teach you how to bargain. In the case of this thing, it's $950, right? So we're going to take $500, put it in our left pocket. We're going to take $100 more, put it in our right pocket, and then we're going to use our back pocket for another $100 because we're not going to pay more than $700 for this because that ain't worth it. It's 4 years old, about to be 5, and I can pretty much about tell you that it's not even going to hit 7 years old, and Apple's going to do the last OS update, and then it's just security updates until it hits 10 years of age, if it even lives that long. And if Apple cuts it off before 10 years and calls it obsolete, then you're not going to have any parts access except through eBay, okay? And Apple sometimes does cut off Mac computers before they hit obsolescence, which to Apple, it's obsolete at 10 years, okay? It's vintage at 7. It has been known, apparently, that Apple will actually do the obsolescent thing at less than 10 years. And it can happen either before becoming vintage or when it comes vintage, it could do both in one shot. It kind of depends on the computer we're talking about from Apple, which they do, and I don't even know about this one. I haven't even asked, okay, because I know I'm not going to get an answer. They just randomly do things when they do things, and then they inform all the other Apple departments after that. So, yeah, it's kind of a crapshoot. But I wouldn't pay more than $700 tops for this thing at the utmost. And for $700, it better have that 8 gig card in it. $600 if it's 4. Okay. So let's take a look at something that's a really good deal. This is an M1 MacBook Air base model, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you, with any laptop, always check things like make sure all the keys work fine, nothing's sticking, make sure the display is all good, there's no bleeding, no discoloration on anything you're viewing. Also, go to your system information program in the computer, so make sure it's up and running when you are going to the door. Okay, does not have to be signed into. He could just reload it and put a password, and doesn't have to sign in with Apple ID, and you're still okay. All right, but make sure you get the password off because you're going to need to do a reload now. It's stupid. Anyhow, we'll talk about that in another video. But if you go here to your Launchpad and you click on that, you click on Other, that's where you find system information. You fire that up. You find out where it says power here. On a laptop, it's going to show battery information down below. If it's got a high cycle count, that's an automatic extra $50-$60 off whatever they're asking, okay? Because that means you're going to need a new battery soon. Even if it says normal, that doesn't matter because normal still takes effect even at 80% battery. Okay, so, and if it says needs servicing, then definitely we're knocking 50 bucks. Even though it's probably going to cost us 100 bucks for a good battery, we don't want to be too hard. We want to be able to buy this, and we know it's a really good deal otherwise because everything else checks out. Batteries is kind of a minor thing. They're usually about 100 bucks, even for this computer. For the MacBook Pro, if I recall right, a real authentic Apple battery for that 16-inch was almost $200. iFixit was definitely under 200. And any other third parties are around the same price as iFixit kind of prices. It's still going to cost you almost 200 bucks, and you're going to have to get the balls yourself to take it apart, do it yourself to save the money on having somebody professionally install it. So make sure you watch YouTube videos and do it cautiously because they are multi-cells and they are delicate. If you puncture one of these cells, you will start a fire, and water will not put it out that easily. And yeah, even fire extinguishers, yeah, they're not that great at putting out lithium fires. So you could burn down your house if you're not careful, okay? Just as a heads up, not to freak you out or anything, but if you puncture a cell on these things, and that's for PCs as well as Macs, that's even your iPhones are the same way, your iPads, your Android phones, your Android tablets, they all got lithium polymer, lithium ion batteries. These things, you know, you don't want to puncture those batteries, so make sure you're doing it right, okay? However, as far as price goes for this thing otherwise, these average between 6 and 7 in absolute everything being impeccable, including that battery. Okay? That's the going rate. So he's a little high, but he will come down. Okay? I mean, I don't see any reason why if you said, okay, I'll give you 6. You know, don't do it online. Don't be an idiot. Go to the door. That's when you bargain price. Always. Okay? Trust me on this. And, you know, make sure you got 7 with you. But put, you know, 6 in your pocket, or if you want to do the $500 thing and really try and get it lower, try 500 bucks. You probably won't get anywhere, but you'll probably get more better at 600 for sure. And 7, you'll definitely guaranteed you're going to get it either way. But check it out first, but don't pay more than 7 because that's the maximum going rate, okay, on these M1 MacBook Air base models, okay? This is an M2 base model. Out to lunch on the price. 1,000 to 1,100 is where these currently average, and that was before the release of the M3s. And this doesn't exist anymore in a 13-inch, nor does Touch Bar. They are done. Okay, so bye-bye. Okay, you can get them in the Apple Refurbished store though. But regardless of that fact, Apple Refurbished is all about, you know, you get a fully refurbished, it's got a new battery in it. If it needed a keyboard, it got a new keyboard. If it needed a screen because there was some issues, it got a brand new screen on it. I mean, you are getting premium, okay, on the refurbished site. You're also getting a brand new Apple Care warranty with the option to get the Apple Care Plus. And this person is almost out of time. If they actually did buy it in September, they're probably almost out of time or out of time to get, or even for you to get, the extended Apple Care coverage. But at least you'll have the regular Apple Care warranty that'll be good till next September, depending on their purchase date, because it's not from when you sign in the first time, which we found out with my brand new Mini, right? It's from the purchase date on the receipt. That's when your warranty actually starts, okay? So keep that in mind. But that's around no more than tops 1,100 bucks. Very tops. I would probably start at 9 in the pocket, and then the other pocket with 100, and the other pocket with the final 100 if you can't get them too much. But if you can't get that for 1,100, you tell them fine. Then you're going to keep it or find another sucker, because these only sell maximum used market like this for no more than 11. And I can guarantee it too, because I've seen these in the pawn shops, even in North Bay. This exact MacBook, okay, $1,100, all right? And if it sits there too long, they're going to pop it back to $1,000. All right? That's how pawn shops work. But they won't drop it too far, because it is Apple after all, and they do pay a hell of a lot more money for Mac computers than they will for a PC. They pay like squat nose for PC stuff, even if it runs on Windows 11. I actually found my PC laptop in there Well, I still have mine, obviously, but the exact same one as mine, they were selling it for like 7. I paid 2 grand for mine. You can still buy mine from Aces for 2 grand. The pawn shop's selling it for 7. They paid like 300 bucks for it, maybe. Okay, and that's a 16 by half a terabyte, 8-core processor, Intel Core i7, blah, 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 blah. Okay, check out my videos on my Asus TUF 17. Anyway, let's continue. Here's a great deal. 16 gigs of RAM in this one. 256 drive. That's the only part that's crummy. Okay, but Apple refurbished, you're going to pay about 1600 bucks, right? For the same one as a 16 by 256. Okay, as a base model 8 by 8 by 8 by 256, you'll pay 1300. But he's asking 11. Okay, for a 16 by 256. Not completely unreasonable, but I would pay 900, no problem. Okay, but 11, no. Top dollar, I would pay $1,000. Okay, it's used. It has no warranty whatsoever left on it, for sure. You know, because it was bought in 2022. And this is 2023, which is about to be over. So yeah, your warranty is definitely gone, period, right? And besides, you can look at it from, well, if I could do without the other 8 gigs of RAM, I could buy a base model M1 off of the refurbished site, because you can't buy brand new M1 iMacs anymore. You can get that for 1300 or 1500 if you go for the 16 by 256. Okay, if you want 16 by half a terabyte, it's like 1700, which is a little bit too much because you can buy a really nice base model M3 iMac right now, even though it's 8 by 256. You can get that for 1700, so why pay the extra? Get the better processor. Anyways, get the idea? All right, let's move along. So we're going to look a little bit more for a crummy deal. $650. This is a base model MacBook Air M1. The guy is off his rocker. Only 2 years old. Okay, the girl is off her rocker. It's got a busted screen, and you can see the damage with just this one picture alone. And it's like, that's not good. You know, I mean, it's a silver model too. But either way, even though this seems to be functioning, it's definitely got something going on even across here from the looks of things. You know, or maybe that's just their screensaver or their background, I don't know. But we definitely do see a lot of bad damage, you know, sitting right in here. If this display shorts out, I can almost guarantee you, you will short out the video bus on the motherboard, and you're going to need a new screen and a motherboard, in which case, that's a trash can because it'll cost you more to fix it than what you can buy one brand new for. And you can still buy the MacBook Air brand new for 1300 bucks as a base model, okay? You can get it from the refurbished store for, I think they sell them for like 11 and change, right? I mean, you can usually find them for $11.50 on sale brand new at Best Buy or Staples. But this, I mean, this is a $100 computer as far as I'm concerned. I'd say, look, I'll give you 100 bucks because it's going to cost you a few $100s for a screen assembly. Price out the screen assembly at Apple and just find out exactly what it would cost for the screen and for them to install it, and then just for the screen and you to install it. You can install this screen yourself in like 20 minutes, maybe a half an hour tops. Okay, it's not that hard to do. Just take your time, watch a video, and be careful, and you should have no issue doing it. Okay, but the way it's right now, I would not run this for much longer because, like I said, if it shorts, it's going to take the video bus with it, and then you're really screwed. But to me, that's a $100 computer, period. Okay, if they don't like it, tough, keep it, because nobody's going to buy that to use it at that kind of a price. And you would be stupid even if you paid like $300 or $400 for it. It's just not worth the money. Okay, honestly, it's not with that kind of damage. And I don't get how people keep damaging their stuff like this. This is just stupid. All right, let's take a look at some Mac Minis. Here's a ripoff. Okay, this is like, I couldn't believe this, and I did message them finally. I was like debating on this, and I told them the truth. I said, look, this is $7.99 brand new at Apple with a brand new Apple Care warranty. You're only good till like March of 2024, okay? I said, but it's $7.99 at Apple. You want $800. Well, I know you paid 900 with the tax, but too bad, it's used for like almost a year now, right? You're not going to get this kind of money. I says, the Apple refurbished store, and guys and girls, listen up. I was on the Apple refurbished store, apple.ca, just the other day. They have this exact same one, exactly, in the refurbished department with a 1 year warranty and the option to get the external, okay, for the Apple Care Plus. No lie, $679. Okay, and I told this person the same thing. So that's from Apple. So what's it worth as a used machine that's not refurbished, does not qualify for Apple Care Plus anymore because it's way past its time and has very little warranty left on it as it is? Well, in all honesty, $500 to $600. That's it. Okay, that's where you're at with this. You will save $80. You will save the tax if you paid $6 for this, but $8, not a chance, man. You would have to be a real sucker, and you'd have to be an awesome sucker to pay $700. Okay, $5 to $6 is where we're sitting. I've actually seen these at $500 on Marketplace. And there's a lot of Mac Minis here to go through, and we're not going through all of them. But you will find some really incredible deals on M2 Minis on here, okay? This, and I'm going to be honest and very transparent, this is mine. This is my Mac Mini M1 base model that I recently just got. It was brand spanking new in the box. Nobody ever fired it up before, blah, blah, blah. But there's no warranty because the warranty actually is from the purchase date on the receipt, not from when you first sign into it, okay? So, but I'm asking $6, which is a little on the high side, but I got to leave fudge room, okay? And this is when you're selling stuff, a little bit higher is okay. Ludicrous for $800? No way. I would easily accept $500 cash because the going rate in this condition too, the going rate, even with some scratches on the top, which this thing has none, but the going rate is about $500 for this thing, okay? That's the going rate. Used market, okay? So I have it at $6. Maybe somebody will offer me $550. I'm a little bit ahead, okay? But I would take $500 cash, okay? Cash, money, greenbaugh, Canadian dollars. That's what we're doing here. And I also have in here too, if you want to purchase a display that I happen to have for an extra $300. And the other bonus too is I am also, another reason why I'm asking $6 is because I'm also including a wireless keyboard and a wired gaming mouse. Okay, so that's the extras. So all you need is a screen, or I do have a 32-inch display that's 2K by 4K. I will sell you for $300 because otherwise you're going to Walmart yourself and you're spending $600 in tax on the exact same screen. Why not buy mine that's in absolutely perfect condition? And then you got a fully operational system. Okay, and that's base model. Okay, so. But we can keep going and going. There's a lot of minis up here. And there's a lot of other stuff too. Like this is funny. $200, you got to activate it. Now, in my experience right now with the new way the new OS Sonoma works, activate Mac, you have to do it anyways, okay? This should literally take you to the next step. This is not activation locked. It does not say that. It does not show an email address user. And it shouldn't if it's on this screen. That's been my reload experiences. Okay? However, this screen is completely, you know what? Okay? And this is an M1 MacBook. Okay? Now, as far as what it actually is, this is a MacBook Air. Okay, it's $100, man. That is worse than the other one that we saw, like far worse. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, now you can get to the options screen, which is fine. We got all that, okay, but I don't see where it's cloud locked or iLocked. It says activation locked. If it is actually truly locked out, okay, because I know that screen for me. Like when I go to reload Sonoma, I do my thing. It wants my 4-digit password, right? It doesn't ask me for my email address or any of that crap. It just wants my password to allow access, and then it does bring me to this screen. And when I get to this screen where it says Activate Mac, all I do is click Next. And when I do that, it then moves me into getting my OS to do its thing, start all my sign-in stuff, and then I'll finally get to put in my Apple ID and the password I want to use, etc. So it doesn't actually say activation locked and, where it has, a encrypted email address and then password below. If it has that, well, then you're screwed. That is definitely activation locked. So this is kind of I'm not quite sure which way this is going to go on this one. But I did tell the guy if it's truly activation locked, it's a brick. It's worth absolutely no money. There's not even any good usable parts, okay? Because likely even Apple probably pop riveted the friggin' keypad into this thing. So that's not even going to be something that's going to be easy to get out in one piece. And they usually don't come out one piece. So the only thing that's usable in this computer at all for parts would be the trackpad. That would be it, because the monitor's barfed, and if it is actually activation locked in the end, which we're not 100% sure on, okay, then it's a brick either way, so the motherboard is toast. You are going to have to get a new motherboard guaranteed unlocked from eBay, several $100s there. You're going to need a screen assembly for another few $100s, probably even a freaking battery by now. And we still don't even know if the keypad even works or the trackpad. But probably it does, right? Obviously, it's going to work. But either way, this is such a destroyed computer. I wouldn't even offer anything for it, to be honest, because it's such an unknown, right? So, I mean, if it's not activation locked, and it's just that, you got to click through the rest of the steps. You could run this thing without the screen, and I would advise taking that screen off very soon. Because again, if it shorts out, it's toast, okay? So that's not a very good deal. But there are a lot of options for different computers up here, and, some of them are not the best options. I did see a Studio up here with the new Apple, what do they call it, Studio display or whatever. It's a $2,000 display. For about $3,700. Not bad for a 32 by half a terabyte Studio either, but M1. I'm not feeling that kind of a price range though that I would pay, but you can pay whatever you want. I would probably try and pay like maybe $3,000 tops, because it is an M1 Studio, right? And the M2s are like far better, and we're about to get M3s, so it's kind of like, ooh, yeah. Can't wait till the M3 Studio comes out. That's going to be awesome. Anyways, ray tracing and all, and faster processors. So you can definitely find a lot of deals, a lot of not so good deals. But remember what I said at the beginning, nothing below a 2018, or you're just asking for nothing but a bunch of hassles very soon, okay? That is a big issue, all right? And if you don't know how to run OCLP software to put an unsupported OS on, you're screwed. And if you do run OCLP on an Intel Mac, your thermals do run a lot hotter. You do take a performance hit. You're going to have to crank the fan to at least 5,000 RPM just to keep it cool enough for doing basic stuff. I've done this myself, and I know. So I would say if you want legit and you want usability for even another 5 or 6 years, 2018 or newer, okay? And remember, stay away from MacBook Airs with Intel chips because they are absolute pathetic pieces of garbage. Yes, they are Apple's hottest selling piece of garbage, but yep, that's because they're cheap and they're junk. But people are not basic users anymore. That's the problem, right? People are not basic users. So, no such thing. It's not like it was back in the old days. Anyway, see you in the next one.